Jake here for American Trucks, and in this video we're taking a look at the AWE 0FG dual rear exit exhaust system with quad diamond black tips fitting 2019 and newer 5.3 liter Silverado and Sierra 1500s equipped with the factory dual exhaust. If you're looking for a high quality, no holds barred exhaust setup for your Silverado or Sierra, you can stop right here. AFE's 0FG dual exhaust is a great option that integrates extremely well, and it gives you the performance and quality you're after. Plus, it absolutely sounds the business. We're gonna give this one a very strong 4 out of 5 on our loudness meter, and as you heard from the clips at the start of the video, it earns every bit of that. This is a great sounding system, and if you took a note of the name 0FG, I think that gives a pretty good summary of what this exhaust is all about. Now, making a small block Chevy sound good is sometimes as simple as running a set of dumps right out of the headers. But if you want that great sound and the volume in a package that is still something you can live with every day, AFE has got you covered here with this 0FG system. Now, as you already heard, this really wakes up that 5.3. It's boisterous and full of character, and it's a whole different world than your stock exhaust. It's deep and burbly at idle, and since this system only includes a resonator and not a muffler, you hear all of it. I almost feel like you can hear every individual cylinder firing at idle, and that's probably just me, but regardless, it's a really cool sound and something you don't find in other exhaust systems. This just has a ton of character to it, and the volume is just right. It's loud, but it doesn't grate on you. Even inside the cabin, it is more than tolerable. Yes, it is louder than what you get stock, and as you heard from the clips though, it's perfectly acceptable for daily use. The tone is quite pleasant, and thanks to AWE's 180 technology, you don't get any drone. Now, inside this resonator here are specifically designed ports that allow exhaust gases to move through and realign at 180 degrees out of phase with other frequencies. And that is going to cancel out drone and give you the sound that you're after. It's a great way to get what is basically a straight through system to sound really good and not have any drone. It's really a clever trick that addresses the root cause of drone, leaving you with a great sound and a slick piece of engineering. Now, of course, we also have to talk about the tips. Now, this setup is designed for trucks that come from the factory with the dual exhaust outlets integrated into the bumper. Now, in place of your standard HDMI port looking fake tips, you get these slick diamond black quad tips. Now, they fill out the space in the bumper quite nicely, as you can see on our truck in the clips here, and I think they bring a bit of aggression to the rear end. I think personally it's just a great look. It's just different enough to catch the eye of even casual passersby, and you've got a lot of adjustability on these tips as well. So these are clamp on to this little Y-pipe connector here, so you can move them in and out a bit if you want them to stick out a little bit more, and we'll talk more about the construction of this in a moment. Construction here is also a highlight, as it is with all of AWE's systems. You get 3-inch, 0.65-inch thick T304L stainless steel tubing. Now, this is a full bolt-on system and also features ball sockets on the tips here, something I was just noting about a moment ago. So it gives you some additional adjustability to make sure that the tips fit perfectly in those bumper cutouts. Now, those tips are 4 inches in diameter, and again, they feature that diamond black finish over a double wall /cut construction with the AWE logo embossed on the top there. Now, this exhaust also comes with a chrome tip option if you want to go that route instead, and that is available on our site should you be looking for that. Pricing, as you might expect, comes in at around $2,000, and that does put it toward the top of the spectrum. Now, this is a premium option given that construction and the engineering that are baked in here. Yes, you are paying a lot of money, but you're also getting a lot here as well. And if you want a really solid setup that sounds awesome, you gotta be willing to shell out for it. And if you're gonna shell out for it, this is a great choice. Installation is going to get a 2 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and it should take you around 2 hours to complete the job. Now, this isn't going to require any modification to your truck or to the system itself, so this is a bolt-on setup that comes with everything you need to get it installed in your truck. Only thing you're going to have to do other than bolting this system together is remove those stock tips from your factory bumper. With that though, let's head out to the shop and we'll walk you through the whole process.
For this install, you will need an impact, various ratchets, various size extensions, 10 and 15 millimeter swivel sockets, 13, 14, 15, and 16 millimeter sockets, a flathead screwdriver, a hanger removal tool, and also not shown here is a pole jack or a jack and jack stands, and also an extra set of hands to help you remove your factory exhaust. What's up guys, today we're going to be doing an exhaust on our Sierra, so let's get started. So to start things off, we're going to go ahead and remove our driver's side tail section. And to do that, we're gonna remove this hanger isolator completely. It's much easier than trying to get the hanger out of the isolator. Then we can take it off once it's off the vehicle. So we'll grab our 15 mil socket on our impact. Go ahead and pop this hanger off. That's gonna free this up when we go ahead and unbolt this from our flange. Next, we're gonna have to unbolt our flange here from our Y-pipe at our rear exit section. So that's those two 13 millimeter nuts on our mounting studs for our flange there. So what we're gonna do is grab our 13 mil socket and a very long extension on our impact. I'm gonna go ahead and fish this up into here. We can go ahead and get that first nut off. And you just let that fall like that. Get it situated. It's kind of a awkward angle here, but it will go. And then we're gonna support our tailpipe while we remove this second nut. Again, just have to let that nut fall. And we can go ahead, get this out of here. And then we have to kind of fish it back under our factory tip. Go ahead and remove that. So now we're gonna do the same thing for our passenger side tail hanger here. We're gonna go ahead and grab our 15 mil swivel socket. It's a little bit of an angle on an extension on our impact, and go ahead and run this one off. Again, that's just gonna make things a lot easier. Make sure you pop that out of its little locator there. You can spin that off and take it right off. Now we come towards the front of our truck here, right after our Y-pipe at our catted section. We're gonna go ahead and loosen up this clamp for our ball flare here. So we're gonna grab our 13 mil shallow socket on our ratchet. Go ahead and do that. You get that good and loose. You can go ahead and pop this over our ball flare. You even need to get it a little looser than that. Now this does have a little retainer clip up at the top. As long as it's loose, it should be good. So now we've got a pole jack supporting our muffler section, and we also have an extra set of hands. So once we remove these hangers from their isolators, it's gonna be kind of heavy and cumbersome. And we'll go ahead and have our buddy help us get it out in one piece. So go ahead and grab our hanger removal tool. We'll start with this hanger here. It's gonna be kind of a pain to get to. And wedge it. These are colleted hangers as well, so that presents its own challenge. But if you can get behind it, it should pop right out like so. Make sure that's free. Move the tool out of there. Now we can go ahead and pop out our two hangers at our muffler section here. One on the outside and one on the inside, just like it. Go ahead and pop these off. We have our extra set of hands supporting our tail section. So now that we've got all of our hangers out, we'll go ahead and fish our system out. Now we're gonna have to fish it forward to get it out of the factory tip. There we go. There we go. Next, we're gonna have to remove our factory accent tips. Now these are secured by two 10 millimeter bolts right located up inside of the edge of our bumper cover here. Admittedly, they're not really great to get to, but you can get to them without removing the bumper. So we've got our 1/4 inch ratchet with a 10 millimeter swivel socket on it. We're gonna fish that up in between our bumper cover and the hitch here, and then go ahead and get those off. first bolt out, we'll go ahead and remove that completely. Do our second one here. So as well as the 2 bolts under the bumper cover, there is also a 3rd bolt directly back here, also a 10 millimeter. So we'll go ahead and get that off. Go ahead and pop that off. So just for reference, these are the 2 mounting holes under the bumper cover, and this is the 3rd mounting hole behind it. Again, you don't need to take your bumper off to get to it. It's just not going to be the greatest, but it is accessible. So once you have it done for this side, you can go ahead and do the same thing for the other one. So before we can install our new system, we're going to need to pull a few things off of our factory setup. First one being this ball flare clamp right here. And it's just hooked in by this little clip. So we're going to take a flathead screwdriver, pull up on that. That should release this. I may need to pry at it a little bit. But should come right off. Then we're going to pull these 2 rear isolators off. Those are simply just going to pop right off. So we're going to take that ball flare clamp we just removed from our factory setup, and we're going to put that back on our outlet of our Y pipe here. We'll go ahead and just stick that on there, just like so for now. Then we're going to take our new flex pipe section, run that over our cross member here. We're going to get that lined up with our ball flare, as well as our hanger here. We'll get that set into our isolator here. Then we can get our ball flare clamp set in place as well. Now we're going to leave this loose for now to allow for any adjustments we need to make along the way. Now we're getting ready to put our muffler on, and we've got our pole jack set back in place here. It's going to help support it while we get the rest of our system installed. So we're going to grab one of our supplied AccuSeal clamps, slide that over our flex pipe section here. Go ahead and grab our muffler section. Go ahead and get that into place on our slip joint. Make sure that seats. And we'll go ahead and get our clamp in place. Now we're just going to snug this down for now. We're not going to fully tighten it yet. So we'll grab our 16 mil socket on our impact and just run this down so it's just snug. Now we've got our muffler outlet slash hanger section. So again, we're going to put one of our clamps in place. We'll go ahead and get this slip fit on. Then we're going to go ahead and install our hangers into our factory isolators here. So we'll go ahead and get this in place. So they're both fully seated. So now we'll go ahead and snug this clamp down as well. So now we can get our Y-pipe section slash over-axle section in place. So again, we'll go ahead and slide our clamp onto here first. Then we're going to grab our Y-pipe. We're going to fish that in here. It's maybe a little bit of a tight squeeze at first. Get that over your differential. You may have to come back down with it like so. Get it onto the slip joint. Watch your heat shields. Go ahead and get that in place. Make sure that seats. Now again, we'll get our clamp in place. Go ahead and snug that down. So now we'll get our passenger side tail section on first. So we're going to take our clamp, and this one we're going to slide over our slip fit side first. We're also going to install that rear hanger isolator that we took off our factory setup. Go ahead and get that on there. We'll go ahead and get that up into place. Go ahead and get our isolator back on. It does have this little locator tab that'll hold it in place. And we can go ahead and snug down this clamp. So now for our driver's side outlet, we'll again go ahead and reinstall that. Go ahead and get that isolator back on. We'll slide our clamp again over our slip fitting. You want to make sure you have it in an orientation that you can get to and tighten it. Go ahead and get that. We'll go ahead and get this on. Slide that into place, make sure that seats. We can go ahead and get our hanger back into position. Now we'll go ahead and snug this clamp down. You want to make sure you're not hitting any of your heat shields. You have plenty of clearance because you don't want any rattles or anything. Next, we can go ahead and reinstall our 15mm hanger bolts for our rear hangers. And we'll tighten that down with our 15mm socket on our impact. Then we'll do the same thing for our other hanger. Next, we can install our tip outlet adapters. So we've got our ball flare clamp over it. Slip that onto our ball flare like so. Make sure they're pretty close to lined up. Again, we may have to make adjustments, which is fine. Then we're going to snug this down with our 13mm socket on our impact. So we'll get it kind of snug here. And then we can come back, make our adjustments. And we still have a lot of adjustments to make along our whole system. We're just making sure they're reasonably where we want them as of now. And then we can go ahead and do the same thing for the other side. So now we're going to come back and start fully tightening all of our clamps. So we're going to start here at our ball flare from our factory wide pipe. We've got our 13mm socket on our impact. We're going to go ahead and tighten this up. Make sure nothing's going to hit. We can hold it in place. Fully tighten down that clamp. Now we'll switch out to our 16mm socket again, and we'll begin tightening down all of our clamps, making sure they're fully seated along the way to the rear of our exhaust. So now we're going to go ahead and install our tips. So the easiest way to do these is actually to get them on at the same time. They are a pretty tight fit. So we're going to make ours pretty flush with our angle of our bumper cover here. Bring them out just a little bit. You could even offset them if you wanted to, but this bumper's pretty square. So we're going to try to keep them as straight as possible. And they have these elevator bolts for clamps. So we've got ours in, and we're going to go ahead and add our flat washer and our flange nut here. Do the same thing for our other tip. So now we're going to come in with our 11mm socket on our impact and tighten these down. Now they may move a little bit, that's okay. Just make sure we readjust before we fully tighten them. Make sure our slash is facing as straight up as possible. We'll do the same thing for this one. You want to make sure you're not hitting your bumper cover at all, and that they're as straight or as aligned as you would like them to be. Now we'll go ahead and fully tighten down our ball flare clamp, again with our 13 mil socket. Do one final clearance check. Make sure they're how we want them to be. And once we have it done for this side, we can go ahead and do the same thing for the other side.
That's going to wrap it up here for our review and install of the AWE 0FG dual rear exit exhaust system with the quad diamond black tips, fitting 2019 and newer 5.3 liter Silverado and Sierra 1500s equipped with the factory dual exhaust. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, for all things Silverado and Sierra, be sure to keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.